Hello, I'm your host, Wayne Kerr, and welcome to my late night show, Talking Balls. Brought to you by our sponsor, Ballsack Briefs. Caress, cup, and love your balls with Ballsack Briefs. Sold in all good brief shops and some bad ones too. So as you know, this is the show where we talk to the world's greatest managers. Tonight's show was meant to feature Jurgen Klopp, but unfortunately he's had to cancel due to bringing in his team for extra training. As we all know, they are a bit rubbish at the moment. Luckily, our sponsor has saved us at the last minute with another manager. It's a bit of a step down from Jurgen Klopp, but please welcome to the show, I Love Balzac. I Love, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me at such short notice.
My pleasure, I guess.
So I Love, I bet you've made a killing from selling Balzac briefs.
That's all on my agent. I think he's done okay with it financially, but yeah, it's nothing to do with me. I don't even own a pair.
You don't? Wow, they're amazing. They really do cut your balls in a loving way. In fact, it's all I've got on underneath the desk.
Yeah, I can see, mate.
So firstly, I'd like to ask you about your recent controversial move to Genoa.
Controversial?
Well, yes, apparently the company's 777 partners that own Vasco also own Genoa. And our sources are telling us that your agent was paid a handsome fee to make sure you made the switch.
I won't know anything about that. I just concentrate on my football. But I'm sure whatever Greeno, my agent, has done, he's done it in the best interests of my career.
So there is a group of people online who say you look a lot like the late great manager, Bood FM. Personally, I don't see it. He was much more handsome than yourself.
No, I don't see it either.
Well, this has been riveting. We'll wrap it up there. And good luck in your first season in Serie A. We finished tonight's show with a plug from our other sponsor, Audio Bible. For this week only, you can listen to New York Times best-selling author talk you through his book, The Tactical Genius, for 50% off. Sit back, relax, and let Joe Page come in your ears.
Hello, I'm I Love Balzac, and welcome to episode 15 of The Road to Anywhere. Mine and your Journeyman adventure. Got another action-packed season. My first full season here at Genoa Cricket and Football Club in Italy in the Serie A. As always, thanks for joining me. Make sure you do all the good stuff. You know what it is by now. I am in a very good mood today because, of course, I'm a Manchester United fan. And yesterday, we became world champions. Maybe not world champions. We won the Tin Pot Cup. But do you know what? As a United fan, after 6 years of nothing, it was very good. I've loved it. It was a nice feeling. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, happy days, glory, glory, Manchester United. Now, I just want to say that sometimes when you do stuff like this, weird things happen, right? In real life, things can tie in with Football Manager. Now, I've got some great subscribers from Brazil, and one of them said to me, it was okay that I was leaving Vasco because you're going to join our cousins. And I'm like, what does he mean? And then he said, because we're owned by the same people. I was like, what? So I had to Google it, and I did Google it, and it's true. There's a company called 777 that owns Vasco da Gama, also owns Genoa Cricket and Football Club. Now, I had no idea about that. The job's come up, I've gone for it. It's just a nice little thing I've chucked into the story, as you saw on Sky Sports News. I just think it's absolutely random, and also pretty cool, because you could imagine that. Greeno, yeah, mate, the owners of 777 saying, yeah, he's done well at Vasco, but he wants to stay there, doesn't he? Here's a load of money, get him to shift. We need some help with our new club, and that is exactly what I am doing, helping this club. And I have had a ton of fun, as always, but loads of fun really this year, because I love Italian football. I think you can do well with very little, and I have in the past, but can I do that again? But to make any change to this team, I needed a little bit of extra cash, so I did plan on selling a few players, and I'm going to share a few with you. The first one, though, when on deadline day, on the 1st, I was going to keep him in my squad as a squad player, and Mainz activated his £6 million release fee. So he's not been replaced. I mean, he's nothing great. Scouts loved him. I mean, he could have been good. So yeah, this got took off me at the last minute. I may have missed a trick here, because he didn't really play for me last year. He's a good little player, a little German, forward attacking midfielder, but I had two other players who were better. But he had a minimum fee of about 14 million, and Leipzig activated that. But that 14 million was going to help me massively. A few other honourable mentions. This kid went to Roma for around 5 million. He did really well for me, I'll be honest with you. Got a couple of million for Mr. Appelkamp, 33 years old. He's gone out to Turkey. I also sold Danny Perez for about 1.9 million. He's gone home to Spain, and there was a few others for a few £100,000, the usual. But I had a good chunk of cash, and I spent around 20 million. Let's start off with one that I'm quite happy with. Good squad player. I think he's going to help. He's 31 years old, but he was free. It's Diogo Abreu. I flashed him up in the last one. He ain't going to play much for me, but he's from Milan, and he was free as well. Buzzing with this one because I really like this kid. I think he looks very, very good. Now, he was free, apparently, but I had to pay a compensation fee, and it nearly wiped out the bank. 64k. Mega bucks. Now, I think central defence is my weak point this year, and my two starting centre-backs are going to be guys who are already here, but I needed two more. I just couldn't find like worldies or WONDERKIDS or old experienced ones, so I've got two decent centre-halves, and the first one is David, great name, Filipovic, cost me about £1 million. The next one is Marcus Engelhard. Yeah, Dutch boy. Centre-half, decent, same size as me, pretty tall. It's a squad player, could go up to 5 million, I think I paid about 2. I like this kid for a couple of reasons. I think he's good, my scouts liked him. He only cost me 3.5 million in a minimum fee. I love a minimum fee when it works your way. And look at his value now. Got a bit of promise, hasn't he? Buzzing with this one because I've got a very old keeper, as good as he was for me at Basel, and they'd signed him the 6 months before I joined Genoa, in Alex Meret. He's going to retire anyway at the end of the year. He puts that in. 36. I needed a goalkeeper. Not found a wonder kid, but I think I found a good one. I don't think he's tall enough for Greeno. My agent, he loves a big tall one, but he's good, and it's going to cost me 11 million combined if he hits all his targets. This one's a great one because, you know, I do this sometimes, and I know a lot of you guys do it. When you're at a team like this, look who's been relegated. Go into their squads and you'll find a gem somewhere, and we found Adolfo Arena, 21 years old, £4.5 million minimum fee, Bologna, who've been relegated, so happy days. Buzzing with this one, 22 years old from Hamburg. It could go up to around 10 million if he hits all his targets. 22, can play on both wings, left-footed, bit of an Anthony, going to play on the right, cutting on his left, score goals against, you know, Barcelona and stuff like that. So this is a squad. You've seen the new guys. I think I've highlighted them all, but let's quickly look at the other ones. Of course, Alex, he will put in for retirement at the end of the year, but he's got that year transition. The young lad can learn from him. We've got Daniel Stahl, who's finished 18. He's my, what's the backup basically. Now these are going to be my two centre-halves, and they're good. But I felt weak there, but you know, sometimes things happen, don't they? Some guys are good. He's left-footed. I like it a lot. Plus he's Italian, he's young, he could get a little bit better. We've got Stephen Cavell, who's lost faith in me because I didn't do something he wanted, like improve the training. He's a young English lad I brought in last year. Juan Salazar, left back, Peruvian. He ain't bad. Squad player. He's like having a new player. The lad I signed and couldn't play. Now he can play. The Brazilian, got a bit of promise, hasn't he? Gotta like that. We've got Adrian, 33, but he's been here a while. Good, solid all-round player. He's staying for now. Christian Syllabos, I think I signed him last year. Left winger again. Good squad player. We've got David, a young Italian, decent player. Some of these have been promoted, obviously, from the youth team. Let's scroll down if I can. Guts. This is the guy I like. This is the guy who played, and I didn't realise that another young German. Well, I did, but I just didn't play him as much because this kid did it for me. So he's still here. Love his face. Have you noticed them faces, by the way? They're cool, aren't they? We've got Rocco Simic still, who was the only striker, I think, when I took over. But he's really good on the left wing, and he plays the majority of this season. Brian Overgaard, great player. Hopefully you'll get to see him in the game. Scores goals for fun. 21-year-old Danish lad. Like him a ton. And then Andrea Milelele. He loves to play the ukulele. Yeah, 18 years old. He's another young striker, so that's my squad. I think it's good. It's got promise. It can be better than it was last year. Or it could be even better. Staff still awesome, not full yellow, but that coaching team works and players like Eric Ten Hag. It's like I've got a coaching staff of all Eric Ten Hags. Money's not too bad either. Like I said, I brought quite a bit in. Obviously I had 2-4 sales, but that 14 million we got for that German kid, it opened the door now. Of course, there was a lot of other players that could come, didn't want to come, couldn't afford them, yada yada yada, the usual stuff, right? But I'm happy, I love this league. I mean, I ended up turning Venezia into a great team, I turned Palermo into a great team, I even did a rebuild with Bologna, I think, as well, so it's a good league for that. but it's got big teams, big players, big managers as well. Look who's manager of Napoli. Don't know why they have kits out on it. I'll have to sort that out. Pep Guardiola. So of course the league's kicked off. You'll see I've played 1-1-1 and got 3 points. It's September. I wanted to get to that point where all the players are in place. I'm just in the cup. Now, this is one thing I'll say. If you can get a good side together and they click and they do well, when you're not in Europe, you have to take advantage of that because you've got a lot less games to play. You can really go for it. But could we go for it? Ooh, I don't know. I mean, the bookies have got us around the same place as last year. I think they put them in 12th last year. Did we finish 13th, I think? They got us in 11th this year. But there's a couple of big players have left. Inter, who won the league last year, had a Brazilian who I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. Do you remember Flamengo? And I remember saying Flamengo had a guy called Thiago, who they were great with. And when they lost him, maybe they lost a little bit of their edge. He's been at Inter for a couple of years. He went to Man United this summer for like 150 million. And that dream team looks like it's just full of Juventus. They are the favourites, but we're going to pull off a few good games here, you know. We're going to do all right. Not perfect. Christ, I've enjoyed this, you know. So then, this is the season, obviously, so far. We've played in the first round of the Coppa Italia and beat Spal, S-P-A-L, 2-1. B team now. We played Udinese, good side, beat them 2-1. Pre-season was okay. Lost the first game against Cremonese, who have one of my favourite all-time players on Football Manager up front, Lorenzo Luca. He's like 30 odd. He's worth 15 million. I thought, if he had 15 million, he's not turned into the player we did last. Honestly, an FM23 is an absolute machine. I don't think he's as good this year, but I love the guy. Well, let's just get straight into this. It's the 1st of January, and look where we are. We're 4th. 1-11, drawn 2, lost 4, only a few points off the top. Neck and neck with Milan, Torino, Inter Milan are behind me. Got Roma, Lazio, Atalanta, Pep Guardiola's Napoli. Rumours he might be getting sacked near the end of the season. All below us. Our arch rival, Sampdoria, in the relegation zone. That's very worrying. Brian Overgaard, second in the goal scoring charts. Rasim Masic, the German, best player in the league. That's why I love this. Because I think in Italy, you can pick up a couple of frees. You can find good players who aren't wonder kids in the early 20s who've got qualities and turn it into a good team. And you've got good staff, good training, all that good stuff. It can kind of come together, and this is massive for us. Can we stay here? Well, we haven't really got the depth, and I'll be honest with you, you get a bit of wear and tear. If we were in Europe with this squad I've got now, I think we'd be absolutely peppered. I'll be honest with you. So if we could stay in one of these top 6 places, we really do need to get a bit more depth to that squad, because we would get torn to shreds. But they're fighting, and some of the games have been amazing. As you know, I only put out one video last week because my wife was off work or so with the kids, and at the end of the week, yesterday, your mum came round for tea. We had like a Sunday dinner, one in England, and she's moaning at her mum in the kitchen about, I didn't realise, how much she's on that, doing this, doing that, doing this, because she's not here. So I do a lot on my splits, so she'll go to bed earlier than me, and I do it at night. She doesn't see me. She sees me on the computer in little snippets. Because she was here all week and I was putting a lot of work into this and future things, she was like, "You're never off that computer." Love, it's my passion. Deal with it. Anyway, so as you can see, look at that. Beat Venezia, great team of mine. Beat Empoli, beat Cremonese, which is great. Got beat off Lazio. Then we beat Inter Milan, the champions, with a Brian Overgaard goal. Then we beat the favourites, Juventus. Holy schnizzle tits. Look at that. And then I got beat off Salernitana. What? Beat Palermo, beat Spezia, Monza, Napoli we drew with, which is, really good. We beat Sampdoria in the derby away, even though technically it's home. Got beat off Roma, but then we beat AC Milan. I've absolutely loved it. But then you beat Milan, then get beat off, draw with Torino in a great game, to be fair, but that we collapsed really. And then we got beat off them, which is a bit annoying, but so promising. At this stage, we're still in the Coppa Italia. We love drawing with Torino, don't we? Christ. So you know about that result, but check that one out. I couldn't keep up with it. Won on penalties, but we've drawn Roma in the third round again. It'd be great to win this. I'd like to pick it up once while I'm here, but at this stage in my career at Genoa, or Genoa, as Wayne Kerr calls them, you say what you want to say. I'm not that bothered. The way we started in that league, in Serie A, I want to stay up there because we are going to need some kind of European football, not only to hopefully improve our reputation, to hopefully sign some good players, maybe on loan, maybe on a free, maybe cheap or whatever, but we need more quality in depth, but to cover costs, and because the money's going and the money's going to go more. But honestly, really I like this league, and I like what you can do in it with very little. And we have had some absolute ballers at the halfway point. I mean, Rasim Masic, what a player. Great little winger. Simic, I've converted him into a winger and he plays fantastic for me out there. Can still put the ball in the back of the net. Adolfo, great player. Now, before I forget, you see Goetz down here, who was an attacking midfielder for me at the back half of last year. My AMC. Can play as a defensive midfielder slightly, and he's played there for the majority of his games. He's took a step back into a completely different role, and I know he's not got an over 7 average rating, but he's been one of the guys I've really loved this season for doing something like that, moving into a completely different position and putting in a shift. But he's still got overguard, scoring goals. A lot of these lads are doing well. But you can see, right, if you look at the appearances, I'm not exactly rotating because I don't feel like I've got any real need to. Every game, I'm like a game a week with the odd cup game. So every game a week, best team, fittest team basically. No real need to rotate like I've had to with other clubs. And you can just go out there and go for it, and they've gone for it. And honestly, it's a game, and I've said it a million times before, but they're making me well proud. So we've got decent training facilities. They're all great. Good youth academy. I've not even tried to ask because of the money situation really. I want to keep as much money as I can to put into the squad. If I get to a point where we're competing and I'm still here and I've got money, of course I'm going to ask, but at the minute I feel like it's okay. So there's not tons together, it's just league and cup, innit? So how are we going to be doing in the league and the cup come the end of the season? Well, unfortunately in the cup we were knocked out by Roma, although it was in extra time. We took the lead, they come back into it. I don't think there was much in it. It didn't feel like it, but when you look at the match stats, it looks like they absolutely annihilated us. But watching the game, I mean, they only show you certain bits, don't they? In the highlights and so on. But I felt like we did all right. But how are we going to be doing? Well, we are going to be in Europe. We are going into this last game. We've kind of fell off the rails recently a little bit, last few matches, which is disappointing because we've been top 4 for ages and only just recently dropped out of it and had Roma leapfrog us. Now, we're in 5th, as you can see. 1 game left to play. We're on 72 points, so we're safe. We have got Europa League, which may be more fitting to us really, but when you're so close to the Champions League and the money, it could completely transform us, and if we get 4th we deserve it. But to do that we have to beat Fiorentina, who are down in 13th away, and you've got Roma in 4th who are playing Monza. They're alright. My arch rival Sampdoria got themselves out of relegation. They're battling it out with another former team of mine, Salernitana, for that spot. So hopefully Sampdoria don't get relegated, because I want derbies. I like derbies, and I want things to happen with the series. So we'll see what goes on with that. But excited. So we're going to have a live come away at Fiorentina. Florence, I think it is, isn't it? Beautiful city. And yes, we skint. So yeah, we need some of that money. Sweet, sweet European money. And back to my beautiful squad, and look at that, Roko Simic. What a player. What a player. Doesn't even moan, he's not the striker anymore, still scores. Masic as well. On the right wing, again, Adolfo Arena. What a player he's been. You get these great little players. It's like the last episode. You get a great little player. I want you to see Adolfo in action. Well, you're not going to because he's fucking injured. It's 2 weeks, I think. Stefan Cavell, still unhappy with me, but he's got no minimum fee and he's got a couple of years left on his deal, and he's my best centre half. Cancelleri, whatever his name is, Mario, the other guy, he's done really well. I just feel like I need someone better, but couldn't find anyone. Can I find someone next year? We'll see. Marius Tatar's been good as well. I mean, they're all good. Overgaard down there in his average rating. He's scored goals. He's been good. I don't think he's been as good as last year. I don't know. Sometimes his goals missing. And has a real bad game, like a 5.9 or something. And then the next game he'll score an hat-trick. inconsistent maybe, but he's still a good little player. So then, should we just get into the game? Should we just see what happens? So welcome to Fiorentina's stadium in Florence. And yeah, I mean, they're an alright side. I know we're away from home, but I still think we could do well. I will show you, I'm not sure, Java, all the results for the second half of the season. I'll show you them after this. Try and remember. But that's my best team, really, apart from that Kastenmeier, whoever he's called. He's come in, not fully fit, but Adolfo's obviously injured. Yeah, I do love this. I love that process coming in, getting the staff sorted, starting to get your own players in, and then seeing it come together. And they've been really good this year. We weren't expected to be up here, so, you know, getting a bit disappointed that we've dropped out of the top 4. I'm just really grateful we're in a European spot, and I mean, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, Roma are a good team, and I can't see Roma ballsing up, right? But I'm really chuffed with this, and I think that going forward, if we can find a couple more little players, we can have a bit of fun. Oh my goodness. I feel like Vasco. Have you seen our kit, by the way? Is that the link with that 777? I genuinely did not know that. When I googled it, I was like, I can't believe this. This is perfect for the story. Just a little snippet for the old story, innit? Crazy, really. But I haven't playing last night and I was tired. I'm not blaming my tiredness, but I thought it was just going on goal. I don't think we've won for 3 games. We've just really gone a bit poop. There you go. He might not be fully fit, but he's come on and he's done his job. What scores Roma? They're 0-0. So we're up to 4 for this moment. We're going to the Champions League at this moment in time. We need little old Monza to do us a favour. Oh, can Brian get onto that? No. Fiorentina can't handle us, can they? In the opening minutes. So yeah, obviously Manchester United won the Carabao Cup yesterday. I feel sorry for Newcastle in a way, because obviously they haven't won anything for years. And I mean, even though they've been taken over by the Saudis, they're a great club, great fans. I love Newcastle, spent a lot of time there, I've mentioned that before. I've got friends there, and I love the city. But I'm still a United fan. I'm just happy we won. We weren't that great in the second half. Just think we got a job done in the first half. Do you know what I mean? Just nice to have that feeling again. Can't lie. I grew up with that feeling. At least once a season. For 20 years. You know what I mean? Right, come on, Ferreira. Oh, he's not cleared that well enough, has he? When Fiorentina get themselves back into it. No, not with freaking... My assistant was like, I don't know if you should play him. Look at him, charging in, winning tackles, scoring goals. Here's Brian. Ooh, that hit the post. Oh yeah. As you know, I grew my hair. I'm not growing it for ages, and it's starting to annoy me. When you get up in the morning and I look like I'm bloody winning 2-0. No, the referee's pulling this back. Goal awarded. Yeah, so, you know, I guess I've had I'm not bought to shave my head, basically, because I'm a lazy git. I just got to the point where I'm waking up and I look like I've been electrocuted. And you're like, you've got to give yourself an extra 10 or 15 minutes to do your hair. It's getting on my nerves. It's because my hair was about that long. And my fringe was coming down. Oh, good goal. Back into it. 2-1, game on. So, I went to my barber's, not been there for a couple of months. And I've got a great barber, a great story. But before we tell you a story, we've got highlighting a free kick. This guy's come out of nowhere. Oh, he hit the crossbar. Oh no, it's gone in. What a performance from Kastenmeier. Don't pick him. He's not ready. He's not fit. He's tired. Scores 2 goals and tackling all over his shop. What a player. He's basically making a statement to me, that Adolfo's out. Trust in me. And Roma are winning as well, so we're 5th. You know, Monza might come back into it. But anyway, went back to my barber's, and my barber's only day off in the week is a Wednesday. He works in his barber shop in Denton every other day in Manchester, but on a Sunday he helps out his mate at his fancy barbers in Altrincham, near where all the posh people live. A lot of footballers live there. And apparently Eric Ten Hag lives nearby, because a couple of weeks ago he came in for his head shaving. And my barber shaved Eric Ten Hag's head. First off, I was surprised he just don't do it himself. He ain't got a lot. Just bick it. But I was like, Christ, bit of a come down, innit? A couple of weeks ago you're shaving freaking Eric Ten Hag's head. Go on, Brian! And then now you're shaving a bus driver's head from Denton. But yeah, he's alright. He's great. I love my barber. He's from Turkey. Brilliant. He's such a nice guy. The barber shop is actually near the bus station, and I drive past it on the number 11 bus. And whenever I do now on a Sunday, I always stop, no matter what the traffic's like, beat the bus on and give him a wave. Anyway, we've done our job. Roma are winning. We need Monza to come up with a miracle if we want to get in the Champions League. But genuinely, European football's good for us. And the Europa League's probably our level. It can ease us in, get some European experience maybe. I'm not heartbroken if we don't get into the Champions League. It would have been nice financially, but you can still earn good money, can't you, in the Europa League? But yeah, give us that experience. Maybe we can go deep into that. It'd be quite good, wouldn't it? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I've got a solid, I think, a good first team 11 here. I just need a bit more depth. If I can find someone who's better than one of my first team players, then, great. Obviously, you're going to put them in the team. But as a first team 11 now, I think they're good enough to go and to compete at the top of the league. They're young still. They're in the early 20s. They're only going to get better and more of a team. And come on, I love this. Putting on a show for you, boys and girls, mainly boys, or theys or thems, and whatever you do these days. You know what it? I know. Yeah. You know what it? You know how it is. Go on, Simic. Go on. Let's get 6. Let's put on a proper show. Proper live con for everyone. But yeah, we've got like a Vasco kit, haven't we? I made some changes, they're not taking effect yet. And the main man I'm bringing off because he was slightly injured. But so I'm giving him a rest. He's definitely done. He's definitely earned his money. Do you know what I mean? Cavell, the centre half's coming off as well for Filipovic. So yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends on who's available, doesn't it? Personally, we're going to need a backup goalkeeper. We're going to need. I think we need a centre half, maybe a midfielder, and just a bit of depth. Because I like my players. I want them to develop. I don't want to improve on a lot of them. I want them to grow. It's going to be a lot more for me to do next year, but I'm very excited to do that. And I'm very excited for the series, so hopefully stick with it. Just don't give up on me. Some people have. But there's so much to come. Trust me. Not just with the career, but the story. The finale is here. And it's going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be like a mini movie. You're not going to want to miss it. You're not going to want to miss anything, are you? Because you love me and I love you. You're an absolute legend. And there's my dog. Did you hear her? Little shit's escaped out the door. Can you hear her? Oh, you're bringing me bad luck, Poppy. I normally lock her in here, don't I? She's escaped. Anyway, it's 5-2, but look at the ad boards. Evolving Mindset, the fantastic Limo, who is a company director of that fantastic mental health charity. Can you see there? You know about Evolving Mindset by now, surely. What a nice little end. Seeing them on the ad boards, winning 5-2. Bit of European football. I'm buzzing. So, of course, Roma won, but only by a goal, the arseholes. Got the same goal differences and everything. But I'm very proud of that. We finished 5th. We're going to be going to the Europa League, and our rivals, our arch rivals, Sampdoria, have survived, although I do believe they might be having a managerial change. So, it's now the 1st of June, and a bit of the debt's been cleared. We're still nearly 5 million in the red, and I've got 5 million to spend, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to be able to do here. Obviously, I've been scouting again all year, and I think I might find a few free pickups. And I found a striker, but he turned us down and went somewhere else. So, I might have to look into that. Obviously, it wasn't consistent, but it's some of the games we've played and won. Inter Milan, we beat Inter Milan, current champions, 3-0. Obviously, winning games we should. Absolutely dominating in the derby. No wonder they're looking at getting a new manager. Got beat off Atalanta, but then beating Pep. Beat Roma, drew with Milan, drew with Torino, who were good, and then we got beat off Atalanta, and then going to the end, obviously won my second to last game, and then last game. So there's so many positives in this team. They've taken so many big scalps that I'm hoping they can grow into something special. Again, I just think I'm getting stronger and stronger. And what I find, it's crazy really, it does show you that if you keep resigning, it does affect your career, because I started the last series with top attributes that I earned in the series before, right? I carried them over. But because I kept resigning, you look at my career path, like in last year's Journeyman, and I was, I wanted the greatest of teams. It was quite a good career, but it kind of tailed off because people won't hire me anymore. With this one, going from job to job properly, I mean, I haven't been at a huge, massive super club yet, but I think we're doing well, and I'm really, really pleased with it, and my attributes are nowhere near as good. Got a bit more work to do if I want to get myself on any favoured personnel list, but as always, thanks for sticking with the series. I know views do drop off, I know that. It's sad, because I love making it, and I want to keep motivated to make it, so don't give up on me just yet, because the story arc will be good. Hopefully the career can carry on being good, and we can share a lot more good moments, maybe a cup final or two. Definitely with this club, I really want to take this club far.
What the? I love balls at my ass. That's Bood FM. You might have conned everyone into thinking you're dead, living under a new identity, but I know your game. Sandra, reopen the cold case file on Bood FM and CCPO and get me everything on an I love ballsack.